I've been pretty stressed out lately, man. Um, a lot of it's my fault, you know. I really need to start getting my shit together. Yeah, I don't have a car or a license for that matter. It wouldn't matter if I had one. Not having the other still fucks me over. So, anyway, um, I've been getting rides to and from work and stuff. And for the most part, that hasn't been much of a problem. When I first started working where I work, my best friend worked there too. Like, he's the one who got me the job. So, he just gave me a ride. But then some drama went on at work where he ended up quitting. And he was still giving me a ride until he found another job, which actually took him a while. Then he found another job working for the government, right? Working for the county. He's like a receptionist, making double the money I make for like way less of the work. Like, I'm not ticked off at my friend. Like, obviously he's got a good deal, and I think that's it's good for him. But it's like, man, fuck, that sucks because I'm at the same time. So I don't know. I don't know if it's jealousy or envy. I don't know what the right word is, but I don't know. I think it sucks. So I've been getting rides to and from work, and my buddy was still giving me rides when he could, just because he's my friend, and I help him with things, he helps me with things. It's a very mutual relationship there. I'm not just using my friend. Like, if he calls me right now and he's like, "Hey man, can you help me with something?" I'll be like, "Yeah, got you." You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel kind of guilty because not only am I making him, go out of his way to give me a ride, but like, a little while ago, like not even a week ago at this point, on the way to pick me up to go to work, right? He ended up in a bad car accident. Some guy ran a stop sign and completely smashed the shit out of him, totaled his truck. He ended up breaking his pelvis. He had a sprained wrist and a busted lip. All his, he had rare CDs and, expensive tools and a bunch of stuff that got wrecked in the truck. The truck was totaled, obviously. I might be able to put some pictures up on screen. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I feel kind of guilty though, because it's like he wouldn't even have been on the street if it wasn't for me not getting my shit together and getting a car and getting a license. So it was kind of a little of a wake-up call for me. I started studying to get my license, and I'm going to call the DMV in a few days. It's the weekend right now, so I'm going to call on Monday to see how much that's going to cost me and what I need to do. My friend doesn't blame me or anything. Like, he's not mad at me. I'm more mad at myself, Obviously, you ask him, he'd be like, "Oh, well, you couldn't have known it could have happened to anybody." You know what I mean? Like, but I still feel like it was my fault, because the bottom line is, if I wasn't begging for a ride, alright, he wouldn't have been on the road. He would have been at home, and now he can barely walk. He's walking with a walker, and for the first couple days or so, he needed help taking a shit and piss. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like that's a little bit my fault. And then on top of that, getting rides to and from work has gotten me late a couple times. So I'm getting mouth from work for my job, which it's a completely bullshit, like, unprofessional, under the table shit. Like, it's not, I don't know what legal loopholes they're doing, right? Alright, but like, I get paid straight cash. But also, like, the people in charge there they're fucking with me, right? See, I'm not a manager, alright? Nor have I been trained to be a manager. I don't get paid to be a manager. But I'm ended up playing manager somehow. For some reason, pretty much every night, most nights, not every night, but most nights, there's no manager up front where I work. Like, there's no manager in the in the whole restaurant. I work up front, like, I deal with customers. I work on the register, take the phone and the drive-through line and stuff like that. But like, a lot of times there's no manager. It's me and a bunch of other basically children, 16, 17-year-olds. I know that's not that much younger than me, but like, this is like their first job. You know what I mean? Like, I've had a couple jobs since, before I started working here. I don't know, a lot of them don't take it as seriously, or a lot of them, they're slow, they don't give a shit, or, I don't know, 16-year-old shit. So I'm basically babysitting all day, and I'm not getting paid like a manager. I mean, they're expecting me to do manager work, but I'm not getting any manager benefits, if you could say that. And I'll bring this up, you know what I mean? I'll bring this up to like the boss basically, and I'm like, hey, there's no manager at nighttime because that's when I work. I do night shift mostly. There's no manager at night because all the managers work day shift. Like literally today, as of recording this, Saturday, I think it's like March 23rd or something. I actually don't know. I didn't look before recording this, but literally today, as recording this, all the managers, there's 3 of them, and all 3 of them worked day shift, and there were 0 of them at night shift. And it's like, why? What the fuck? Like, it's apparently several of them refused to work night shift. But it's like, what do you mean you refuse to work? If you got a bunch of people who work for you that refuse to do the work you want them to do, why do they still work for you? So, I mean, I feel like I'm getting fucked. You know what I mean? Because it's not like, honestly, I don't even want to be a manager. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the money would be good. I'd like to have a little more money. And it's cool telling people what to do sometimes. But it's like, I don't know, I kind of don't want that responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, I'm much better, having someone there to be like, hey, I got this problem, could you help? Rather than having to be the one everybody goes to. Like, I can in certain situations, but there are a lot of things that, like, I'm not entirely sure what to do. I haven't been here that long. I've only been here for maybe a year, you know what I mean? Or a little over a year. Which, I mean, I know what I'm doing as a regular employee, but I don't know everything as a manager, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just literally today learned how to close out a register. But the thing is, when there's no manager up front, there's no one for me to go to. And then I have to deal with it. But the problem with that is I don't have the authority to do certain things. I can't just give someone a refund because I'm not allowed to. Like, that's not what I do. You know what I mean? I can't just give anybody money back for anything. You know what I mean? I don't have the authority. Just like I don't have the authority to to give anybody free food if it's messed up, or I don't have the authority to do anything because I'm not a manager. I'm not a boss. You know what I mean? I don't have the authority to tell anybody to do anything, even though I basically do, because if I don't, nobody else would do anything, and I'm the only one who works the entire shift. So, which wouldn't be a problem if there was a fucking manager. Then I bring this up to the boss. I probably tried to say this earlier. I keep getting sidetracked, but I try to bring this up to the boss that there's no one working, like no managers or anything, and their whole response is, well, you just got a raise. Yeah, but not for being a manager. I did just get a raise. Alright? I work for $10 an hour. That's not no manager pay. I had a buddy who worked there. He was a manager, and he was getting like 14. So it's like, no, man. If you I feel like the only reason I haven't just been made a manager is because I can't be there all the time. I can't work doubles because I have to be home several days to watch my brother, and I don't have a ride, so I can't just show up whenever they need a manager out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So, but it still kind of pisses me off that I end up having to play manager even when I'm not given the, even when I'm not given the authority nor the pay of a manager. So it's like, what the fuck do I do? On top of, bullshit going on at home that I'm not going to talk about. And then I got, my friend that I feel guilty for because I basically got him into a car accident. I mean, I didn't, but I did. So it's like, man, I don't know. I really don't know what to do.